I woke up to several texts from my best friend. Oh my god, you need to see the price of Bitcoin right now. Are you awake? Hello? 63,000. We're rich. Get out of bed. Holy crap. She was right. I guess I should have listened to her after all. We managed to get in on it over a decade ago, when Bitcoin was worth dollars. It was all fun and games, two girls right out of high school, hoping that it would one day amount to something. Over the years, we thought it was all silly, and that we should cash out while it was worth thousands of dollars. And boy oh boy, were we surprised to see it skyrocket this year. I checked my crypto wallet. Finally, you're up. Wow, we're rich. Yes, let's treat ourselves. With what? At this point, we can afford anything we want. Yeah, let's get a little pet monkey. What? I've always wanted one. If you can find one, sure. And I knew the perfect place to look. I wasn't new to the dark web. It was the best place to spend my cryptocurrency. I've managed to score rare items like designer clothing and handbags. Anything and everything, really. I knew what to do, and learned how to disguise my Bitcoin, since I was concerned about it all being traceable and hacked. I had been eyeing an exotic animal site for a while. So I hopped on the dark web, went on the site, and tried to find my dream pet. I was scrolling for hours. But I managed to find one. A capuchin monkey at that. Am I an idiot for doing this? Maybe. But it'll be fine. I'll buy everything it'll ever need. So I messaged the seller and purchased my monkey. He was super cute. He was supposed to be delivered to my front door next week. I was excited. I spent the next few days setting things up. Hiring a landscaper and safely enclosing the backyard so that it would have plenty of room to roam around and play in. Also researching the best diet and buying all necessary supplies like diapers. The day finally arrived, and with it, the newest addition to the family. I opened the front door and... Aww. He was inside a cage wearing the cutest outfit that made him look like a little street performer. There was a note attached. Thank you for your purchase. Enjoy it while you can. Pleasure doing monkey business with you. Odd. I immediately went out back and opened the cage so that he could explore. I couldn't believe it. He was so sweet and everything I could have ever dreamed of. At night, I figured it would be best to have him stay outside, since I didn't want to overwhelm him and the house wasn't monkey-proof yet. He got tired and immediately climbed up a tree and wedged himself in between some branches. I couldn't wait for the morning. I was going to get to know him more, give him a name, and start teaching him some neat tricks. I decided on the name Timmy. Gradually, we built a bond. He started trusting me and would follow me everywhere I went. It was nice to have a mini companion. But then Val started complaining. She said that Timmy was creepy, that whenever I'm not around, he would just stare at her, and almost attacked her the other day. If I'm being honest, we should get rid of him. Maybe take him to an animal sanctuary. I don't feel safe. I tried to hear her out, but I didn't see anything off. I couldn't just get rid of him. I'm serious. I'm probably going to move out if the monkey stays. I was annoyed, A creepy vibe isn't a good enough reason to get rid of a loving animal. We'll talk about it in the morning. Val has always been really bossy, but not this time. Hey, what are you doing inside? Couldn't sleep? Come here. Val probably let him inside for some reason. I turned on the lights, and it had somehow changed. Red eyes, huge bloody grin, and it wouldn't shut up. It was jumping and climbing on top of my furniture and breaking everything in its way. I opened my door and let him out. What's wrong? Why is it so loud? I thought we weren't going to let him inside yet. I thought you let him inside. Ah! Bad monkey! I was now terrified and knew I made a huge mistake. The monkey was now insane and had mutated. Val was burning up. Her vision was blurry. Out of nowhere, she fainted. I rushed her to the emergency room, and she had to be immediately isolated for showing signs of contracting an unknown, fatal virus. They tried everything. I lost my best friend that day in just an hour. I tried to explain everything, but it was so hard to believe. The CDC was contacted and they tried to find the monkey, but had zero luck. A week later, after I had some time to process everything and grieve a little, I tried to contact the seller about the monkey. But the site was completely gone. I had no way of contacting the seller, no phone number, no email address. It was as if the website had never existed. Then I had this gut-sinking feeling. I checked my crypto wallet, and it was wiped out. Not a cent was left. So now I have to figure out how I was hacked while grieving the loss of my best friend. And on top of that, that monkey is still on the loose, and more cases are showing up. Since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been avoiding the subway and taking a cab to work every morning. Who am I kidding? I've also been lazy. So the convenience of having a driver pick me up right in front of my building and drop me off right in front of work is very tempting. And time after time, I gave in. I mean, the likelihood of contracting the virus is lower. Also, as of lately, being a young Asian American woman in the city has made my anxiety levels skyrocket. Better safe than sorry, right? I woke up at 6 in the morning per usual, rolled out of bed, brushed my teeth, splashed my face with water, got dressed and did my makeup. Typical morning shenanigans. I've been avoiding doing my eyeliner for some time. Don't want to accentuate the shape of my eyes. I pulled out my phone, compared the cost of multiple ride service apps, and ding ding ding, Uber was the winner. He was right around the corner. I had 3 minutes to get to the car. I ran over to my Uber. Okay, black Toyota Camry. Typical. There. I ran over to my Uber. Good morning. Good morning. What's your name? Angie, and you are John? Yes, ma'am. I pulled out my phone and kept myself entertained. And I noticed him checking me out in the rearview mirror. Are you in a rush? There's going to be a delay. Is it okay if we take FDR Drive? Google Maps says there's traffic. Yeah, no problem. Halfway through the drive, he started talking to me. I hate small talk. So, what do you do for work? Why the f would I tell him? I made something up. Oh, I'm a web designer. For what? A startup. That's cool. Where are you from? From here. No, like, where are you from? New York. No, I mean your background. Your family. I'm Filipino American. Oh, that's cool. I knew it as soon as I saw you. Kamusta ka? Silence. I've dated many Filipinas. Always so kind and beautiful. Some of the best women in my opinion. Definitely my type. I'm surprised you're not a nurse. Yeah, not really for me. Yeah, I know what you mean. Especially with the pandemic. Man, that's gotta be tough. Yeah, I'm sure of it. So, you married, sweetie? What? Usually drivers get the hint when I don't want to talk to them. Nope. Ah, so boyfriend. You must. I was now really creeped out. Yeah, I have one. Why do you sound so nervous? Are you lying? No, not at all. Please, just take me to my destination. You're making me uncomfortable. My heart was racing, and I tried my best not to show how scared I was. You know, you're not what I expected. Not really friendly like the other women of your kind I've been with. You should smile. Silence. 20 minutes to my destination. Should I continue or hop out now? Look, woman, I'm just trying to have some pleasant conversation. You're being really ungrateful. I'm the one doing you a favor and driving you to work. Silence. Kill him with silence, right? Hello? Answer me, bitch. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Ah, a feisty one, huh? That's my kind of girl. We were halfway through the Brooklyn Bridge, but I didn't give a shit. I tried to get out. Locked. Let me out. Are you insane? Hell no. Here, hold my hand. It'll calm you down. I held in my tears. No way was I going to cry now. I remember that Uber recently implemented a new feature, the emergency button. After over 3,000 sexual assaults relating to Uber rides were reported in the US in 2019, 9 were murdered during their rides. I was not going to be another statistic. Grab it. I'm not touching your disgusting hand. I don't know where it's been. I'm sure you'd like to know. I put my finger on the emergency button and sent a text that included my current location, intended destination, and description of the car I was riding in. All the while, I tried to maintain my composure and show no sign of weakness. If he tried anything, I would defend myself. He kept talking and raising his voice more and more, but I refused to entertain him anymore. Hopefully by the time we got off the bridge, the police would be there. But they weren't. You missed the exit. Yeah, I have other plans for us. He suddenly stopped the car and turned around. Why don't you give me a little kiss? Get your ugly face away from me. Keep acting up, and this will be the last face you see. He tried to move to the back of the car and grab my legs. Nuh-uh. I pulled out the pepper spray from my bag and grabbed my keys. Luckily, I had a friend out of state who could get me it in case of emergencies. He started screaming in pain after I sprayed him in the eyes, then slashed him across the face with my keys. I managed to climb over him while stepping you-know-where and unlock the car. As soon as I got out, I ran as fast as I could away from the car. Then I heard the beautiful sounds of the NYPD sirens heading my direction. Immediately, I started crying. "How'd you call the cops, you bitch? Come back here!" They arrested the driver and found out he had many previous sexual assault allegations, including domestic abuse. He had a Filipino wife. "Don't forget, Angie. I know where you live and work." I was just happy to have gotten away in one piece. And you best believe I won't take Uber anymore. Be careful out there. I always wanted a little brother. Growing up, I begged my parents for one. My earliest memory was in kindergarten. Time went on, and no baby brother. By the time I knew it, I was already in the 4th grade. I was really jealous seeing my classmates with their younger siblings. I would have done anything for one. One night, my mom tucked me into bed and asked me what I wanted for my birthday. "You already know. I want a baby brother, a little playmate." "Dear, you have to be patient. Your father is waiting for his promotion. Right now we're only getting by and can't afford another mouth to feed." Fine. I fell asleep and, as usual, dreamt of a sibling. Then I woke up after feeling something on my face.
Boop! Got your nose!
Who are you?
Who do you think I am?
Wait, am I dreaming? Are you my new baby brother? I clearly had no idea where babies came from at the time. I got a closer look at the little guy. He was really small, definitely the size of a baby, but he was also shriveled up and had a long beard and a cute pointy hat on his head. We talked a bit till I fell asleep, and in the morning, he was gone. Maybe it was a dream after all. That afternoon, I was playing by myself. I was getting bored. I turned around to go to my toy bin, and suddenly heard a whisper.
Hey.
I turned around, and no one was there. So I just said hi back, but no response. So I headed back to my toy box when I heard my closet door slowly creak open. I turned around. The little guy walked out. I immediately became so happy. "Baby brother?" He said that he had been waiting a long time to see me.
"I feel like mother and father don't want us to meet."
"Hush, you are my baby brother, and I will love you forever and ever." He would tell me not to tell anyone about him, that he was still a little secret. I would come home after school and immediately run to my room to play. He'd keep me company while I played with my Barbie dolls and tea set. I loved spending time with him. I asked him if he wanted to play Barbie with me, and he said Barbie was dumb. He said he could take me to a magical place where I'd always have playmates and never be bored. It sounded pretty cool. I asked him where it was.
"Oh, it's outside of the forest near your house. I will take you there tomorrow."
My Lola told me never to go there.
"Don't listen to her. Listen to me, your baby brother."
Okay. The next day, he appeared in my room, and while my mom was cooking, I snuck outside and followed him to the entrance of the forest. Immediately, I felt something was wrong. I kept hearing my Lola's words inside my head, warning me not to step foot in the forest.
"Come on! It's just behind a big tree over there."
"I'm sorry, I can't. We can play more in my room, though."
"No, you have to come with me."
But suddenly, my mother called me in to eat. Anak, come in. Lunchtime.
Follow me. We can play together forever.
I have to go, but we can play later.
No, we will not. How dare you disobey me, stupid child?
That was really mean. My heart sank a little. I turned around and ran back inside the house. I ate my lunch, but then suddenly I felt queasy. I couldn't explain it. I felt nauseous and soon had a fever and aches all over. And gradually I got even more sick. My hair started shedding and I'd wake up to boils all over my body. It was painful to move. Nothing would cure my ailments until my mom urged my Lola to come visit me. She came and immediately knew what to do. A witch doctor arrived, took one good look at me, and duende became the topic of conversation amongst the adults. She lit up a candle and read the wax drippings in a water-filled basin. She confirmed it was a duende and revealed that I had been playing with one. My Lola scolded my parents. I told you, you should have blessed the house when you moved in. Now look what happened. So, shortly after, they contacted our priest, invited the neighbors over, and performed a house blessing by slaughtering one of our chickens from outside, drawing crosses on every door with the blood, and sprinkling holy water in every room. Soon after, everything went back to normal. My skin was clear, my hair was starting to grow back, and we were a happy family. My father eventually got the promotion, and I was actually glad I was the only child. Until one day, my parents announced the news that I was going to have a sibling, and I prayed to God that this one would be less problematic. My Lolo used to be friends with a duende, also known as a small dwarf or goblin from the forest in the Philippines. It was close to him, accompanying him wherever he went, especially on his walks home after work, and while he was cooking late at night in the kitchen. Occasionally, my mom would walk in the middle of the night and hear my Lolo talking to someone. She assumed he was talking to my Lola, but when she entered the kitchen and only saw her father, she asked, "Tatay, who are you talking to?" He told her that the duende was visiting. My mother never saw the creature though, only he could. These creatures very rarely reveal themselves to humans. As a little girl, my mom was very curious and wanted to know all about the duende. My Lolo let her in on his secret, but he told her not to tell anyone because then everyone would think he was crazy. She would laugh whenever he told her stories about his little friend, like how he enjoyed riding on his shoe on his commutes from work. The duende had human-like features and could fit in the palm of his hand. He described it as being a tiny person. Although the creature was very small, it looked old and wrinkly. It had a long nose and a long, pointy beard. It also wore a hat. One night, my mom woke up after hearing yelling. She followed the sound to the kitchen and stood in front of the door, trying to make out what was happening. She heard my Lolo arguing, except it sounded as if he was yelling to himself. At that moment, my mom thought he was going mad. But she knew, or at least believed, what he had told her, that he could see the duende. She didn't want to interrupt, so she just went back to bed. The next day, my mom asked him why he was yelling and cursing. He was very upset. Apparently, the duende and him got into a fight because he refused its gift. It is said that if you are friendly with the duende, they might offer you something, power or riches. It tried to give my Lolo the ability to become an arbolario, or witch doctor, and cure the sick. My Lolo got really upset and cursed at it. He knew the repercussions of accepting this kind of gift. There would be a price to pay. His family could suffer misfortune or sickness. As a religious man, he also knew that accepting the gift would mean turning his back on his faith. He asked for advice and was told not to accept it, or else he will become insane and become the laughingstock of their hometown. He yelled at the duende, saying he didn't want the gift. and that he didn't want to become a crazy man. Fortunately, the duende wasn't a malicious one, so when he rejected it, it just disappeared. I learned that a malevolent duende is more common in the Philippines. They can inflict pain and death if you disrespect it. You have to say, "Tabi-tabi po," when walking in rural areas. It basically tells them that you come in peace and are just passing by. When entering a forest, you have to watch where you're walking so that you don't step on their home, which resembles an anthill. If you step on a duende's home, they will curse you, kidnap you, and you can become really sick or even possessed. The only way to avoid or overcome the sickness is if you make a peace offering. This oftentimes means bringing them food and saying "tabi-tabi po" over and over again.